We just finished meeting for intonation practice on September 11th, and we started with a request for the connections between an and apple. And because an is not stressed, it's usually never an important little article. It just turns into an apple, an apple, an apple. And at the beginning of our meeting, I said, let me turn off my ringer. And I realized that I say, let me, and not just me. Other people say, instead of let me, you'll never hear that T, let me. And let me, I don't even have to put my tongue in the T position. I can just say, let me. So over here, I didn't put any T. Let me turn off, the N will connect, my ringer. And this ing, remember the ing, the back of the tongue is very high and it kind of slides back instead of coming down like a g. So ring slides back and then the front curls up for the R. Ringer. Let me turn off my ringer. And this I didn't rewrite. It's a long sentence, so it fills up both of these columns. And I added things here. So at the, at, you can see that my tongue is further forward because you can see it. It's getting ready for the TH. So instead of at behind my teeth in the perfect T position, at the, you can get ready for it and have your tongue stopping the airflow as it's between your teeth. At the. At the end, my tongue's very high for E, and then end, my tongue is lower, so let it slide down and make a Y. So I put this invisible Y. At the end, the D connects to the and there's no way for me to, I don't want to delete the F because I want you to know that it's the word of, but you don't have to say the V. Inda. At the end of the day, at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we must go. You don't have to say this T. You can hold your tongue in the position, must go, but you can also just skip it and say must go. Must go. We must go. We must go forward with hope. No connections there. But because this is a little group of meaning, I might take a little pause here and not. I'm going to skip the D or put the tongue in the D position. It's the same as the N position. And not, but not and not. And not backward. And that's a group of meaning, so I might take a little pause. And there's no connection between duh and ba, backward by. Fear and division. Maybe if I'm being dramatic, I might take a pause by fear and division, or connecting them together by fear and division. Fear and will connect, and either you can think of it as deleting this D or just putting your tongue in the D position and then not releasing it until division and division. So at the end of the day, we must go forward with hope and not backward by fear and division. Division will come down at the end. At the end of the day, we must go forward with hope and not backward by fear and division. Everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the work. Everybody wants to. And this is also longer, so I just changed a few things. So instead of to, really, to is what we're saying, because the ooh with the rounded lips and the tongue a little higher to be more lazy. Don't round the lips and keep your tongue lower for to be, wants to be. But hold the T, but nobody wants to, again, do the work. Hold the K so you don't say work. Um, this was what we talked about to the radio, to the. You could think of it as to be, like here, wants to be. Um, I know that Anne Cook in her book American Accent Training, she uses this little apostrophe to represent, don't even think about what vowel it is, you're just making the T sound to be. So if you think of it that way, if that's helpful for you, that's fine. One issue could be that for Americans, like I just said, I was very aware. I said, is the default position, like the resting position for the tongue when we're not thinking of a word to say. So The sound that people make when they're thinking in their language is the default position for the tongue. So you'll hear Americans say, I don't know, what do you want to do? Or, so I am going to fill in that little space after the sound of the t with an t. But other languages might have a resting position that's a little higher and might say tabi, or an even to be. So that could change how it sounds. But the duration should be very short and shouldn't make a big difference. But I represent the sound with the UH. So to be, that's how I'm going to put it, to be. So everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the work. Everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the work. That was kind of fun to play with. What are you doing? What is important and do is important. Nothing else is really. So here's the progression of how it changes to get to whatcha. So first we get rid of the R, and now we have what and you, and the T and the Y next to each other make a ch sound. So we have what chew. Now we can change the oo to an So we have whatcha. And I just represented that as whatcha because I can put a T here, what. The tongue goes up to the T position and then holds it and then releases for the ch. But you're going to stop the airflow for ch anyway. The tongue presses up against the top of the mouth, ch. So I'm not putting an extra T. It's just whatcha, whatcha, doing. And this is where we practiced doing with a doing, change it to do in. And if it helps you think of it as like in, come in. The tongue is coming to the front for a regular in instead of the ing in the back. And it could sound like win if it helps you think of win or lose. It could be spelled with an one, using the schwa which sounds the same as one, if that helps you think of it as one. What you doing? Or what you doing? And this could also be wada ya. So we get rid of, I don't know why we have the duh. Wada ya. Wada ya doing? So either way, whichever one you prefer, what you doing? Or what are you doing? And there's more practice we did here with changing the ing, back of the mouth, ing, to in. And doin or doin. Thinking, thinkin'. This one can be difficult, and drinking can be difficult because think and drink, your tongue gets very high to go up for the ing in the back, but we're making it after that come down for the in. So it's kind of a forward assimilation of making your tongue in a high position want to stay high instead of coming down. Thinkin', drinkin', come down. Watchin'. This one is a syllabic in because your tongue is going to the T. Eat, and your tongue stays in the T position, and then you just make the noise. Eatin', eatin'. And the same for waitin', waitin', lookin', goin'. So without the ings, doin', thinkin', watchin', eatin', drinkin', waitin', lookin', goin'. Okay. And we got to what do you do? So what do you? You get more casual and say duh, yeah, and the what and the do are the most important. So what do you do? What do you do? Oh, nice to meet you. What do you do? What did you do? Now we can make what did into a contraction and have would. And now the D and the Y, well, we can make it you more casual, would ya. And the D and the Y next to each other here are going to make the j sound. So j, same as ch, but with voicing. So the tongue goes up, j, what'd ya. What'd you do? What'd you do this weekend? What'd you do last night? And that's as far as we got. But we had some good practice with making things more casual. So, an apple. Let me turn off my ringer. At the end of the day, we must go forward with hope and not backward by fear and division. Everybody wants to be famous, but nobody wants to do the work. What you doing? Or what are you doing? What do you do? What'd you do? And casual, doing, thinking, watching, eating, drinking, waiting, looking, going. All right, that's it. Thank you, everyone. This was great. I always forget to ask for cues, which are questions, even though this meetup is American English intonation. Oh, this one doesn't. I didn't put the Q and the A. It's pronunciation. I put Q and A. But I'm always happy that people have questions and that I can answer them. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Maybe I can work them into the next week's meetup and post recordings. Thanks. Have a beautiful day or evening.